So recap, man. What was it like to share the ring with a guy like Gotti? You know, a guy that he was skilled, but in the boxing, he's really known for his heart, his determination and not giving up. You coming into an underdog has that fight. What was your game plan for the fight? What was something in your corner that you guys saw in him that you guys could exploit?
Well, first of all, let me tell you how the fight happened. The fight happened was I had fought about, well, this is before the Gatti fight. I must have fought about 3 to 4 months before the Gatti fight. My manager, because we had just lost to Israel Pito Cardona, I had just fought Philip Holiday for the world title. A lot of people thought I won that fight. I thought I won it, but we didn't get it. So after that, and I kind of thank God for putting me in the position I'm in right now, because like I tell all my fighters, tell them all, no matter what, the best thing they have going for them as fighters and as a human being and as a man is that two things. One, you got me training you, which, I don't feel as though I'm bigger than anybody or I'm better than anybody. But the thing that 9 times out of 10 that makes my fighters very unique and different is that they have a coach that knows the boxing game. They have a coach that went through everything that they're about to go through or anything they trying to do or anything they want to do. I probably done it already. So that's why a lot of times they be saying to me like, well, coach, how you know so much? Big dummy, whatever you trying to do, I done did it already. So I'm gonna advise you. I'm gonna advise you not to do it. You see what I'm saying? But to make to get back to what I was saying, yeah, we had fought Philip Holiday, and then I lost to Philip Holiday, and then Frank Gelb, who was a promoter at the time, had Israel Pito Cardona, and I think Israel Pito Cardona was like rated number 3, and by me just losing to Philip Holiday, I had dropped to number 3 world. He was number 3 by the USBA, which was in line for my title. So what happened? They wanted that fight. Me coming off the loss, my head is everywhere than where it's not supposed to be. So we signed for the fight, but me not thinking, I'm already like 15, 20 pounds overweight. I signed for the fight. What I should have did was what I didn't do. We had an argument about it because they kept saying that I wasn't gonna make weight. And I told them I was gonna make weight, which I did make weight, but I made weight and not thinking about how I was gonna make the weight. I made the weight wrong. I got down too fast and I was too weak. Now, what I didn't know back then was that I didn't really have to take that fight with him. I could have just vacated the title and let him fight somebody else for the title and win the title if he was gonna win it. But I'm from Philly. I don't care. I'll fight you with one leg if I have to. But to make the long story short, I lost the title, and I was devastated. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna fight again. But my managers and them talked me to taking another fight. I took another fight. The fight wasn't hard. I made the fight hard. And what they're saying is I made the fight so hard that I didn't listen, that it suffered to make me, it made me to a point where I got a cut over my eye. Before 8 rounds, I stopped him in the 7th. So we was cool. The cut wasn't that bad, but it was a little cut. So what happened was Shane Mosley was about to fight. Shane Mosley was coming to Philly to fight. And a couple of my friends were saying to me, it was like, yo, Ivan, why is Shane Mosley coming to Philly to fight? And he bringing somebody else in here to fight, but he not fighting you. Man, that's a smack in the face. So I'm sitting there like saying to myself, like, you know what? That's kind of right. So I called his promoter up and was like, yo, why y'all coming in here to Philly to fight and y'all looking beyond me? And the promoter was like, man, we ain't worrying about you, man. You just lost a fight, although you just won. We don't need you, this, that, and other. So he had a press conference. I went to the press conference. When I went to the press conference, his opponent wasn't there. They wasn't flying him in. So, Shane Mosley was there by himself with everybody else who was fighting on the card. So I went down to the press conference. Me and Shane Mosley had it out at the press conference. We had it out so bad that Shane said, fuck the guy he was fighting. He wanted to fight me. So they put me in his slot. I went to the gym. I was already in the gym, but I went to the gym even more. Now I stepped up the tempo of the fight so me and him can fight. Now remember, I got cut. I ain't thinking about the cut or nothing. All I want to do is fight Shane Mosley because Shane was a guy that I wanted to fight in the amateurs too. Even though Shane was a good dude, I still wanted to fight Shane. I was the type of guy I want to put my talent against other guys because I think I'm just as good as them. So we made the fight. I never forget it was at the Leah Core Center. I mean the Spectrum where the Sixers and them played at, this, that, and them. Now he was supposed to fight the other guy. The tickets was kind of so-so. But when me and him made that announcement that we was gonna fight, we sold the whole arena out. I went in the gym, started training for the fight. I'll never forget it. My cut man, Leon Tabs, told me that the cut over my eye wasn't bad. Told me to get butterfly stitches just to cover it up into the hill by the time the fight, because we still had like another 4 or 5 weeks before the fight. So my cut man had told me we was gonna be good. My trainers and them got me, the masks that they wear now in training. My dad went out and got me one of them. I did not like that mask. It's like every time a guy hit me on top of the forehead with the up against the mask, it rubbed up against my face. I didn't like it, and then on top of it, I had trouble seeing out of it. So I think I did like 4 or 6 rounds with it. When I took it off, my cut had reopened, and I had to get out. I had to step out the fight. I had to postpone the fight. We postponed the fight. The city was mad. Everybody was mad. The mayor, everybody was mad because that was a big time for us here in the city. So I had to pull out, and they got the guy that he eventually was going to fight. He fought him. He stopped him. Shane had said to me that he would fight me, but he wasn't going to fight me in Philly. I think I had to go to California to fight him. I didn't really want to go to California because I know this is his hometown, but I took it because of the simple fact he was going to fight me here. What happened was my manager wanted to get me a tune-up before that, but we couldn't get no fight. Gatti had just came off from losing to no, my fault. Gatti, this is how I went. Floyd fought Angel Manfredi, and I seen that night. And I had said to my manager, I was like, why can't we get a Floyd fight? He was like, no, right now, I don't think that's going to be suitable for you. So I'm like, yo, we'll fight anybody right now. I don't care who it is. We'll fight anybody. Gatti had just beat what's that kid name? The twin brother, the two brothers, Gonzalez. He knocked him out. So Gatti couldn't get a fight. They wanted him to have an easy fight to get in line for the Floyd fight because Floyd just beat Manfredi. So me and my manager seen that. So I said to my manager, I was like, yo, see if you can get us a fight. I didn't say the Gatti fight. I just said a fight. And we were still like, kind of like with main events. Now, Gatti already was signed with main events. So we sitting there saying like, who can we fight? I'm like, it don't matter who we fight. I don't care. I just want to get back in the ring. So a week went by, 2 weeks went by. I'm in the house. I'm in the gym, but I'm not in the gym that hard. But I'm in the gym working and waiting for a fight. So my manager called me that night and was like, Ivan, when you get home from the gym, call me because I got some news for you. So I'm like, you can't tell me now. He like, no, I can't tell you now. Call me when you get home. So I must have got home about 11:30. I called him. So his name was Eddie Woods. So I'm like, what's up, Ed? He like, yo, man, I got a fight for you. I'm like, damn, about time, man. I'm like, that's good. I got the phone to my ear. Um, I'm sitting in the living room. He like, I got a fight. He all excited about it, but I'm sitting there saying to myself, like, who the hell he got? He all excited about it. So when he told me, he's like, you won't bet who it is. So I'm like, who? He like, Arturo Gatti. I looked at the phone like, huh? Who did you say? He like Arturo Gatti. I said, you're not talking about from Jersey City? He like, yeah. I'm like, all right, well, let's make it happen. He was like, you sure? I said, yeah. Hung up the phone, waited for him to call me back. He called me back about 1:30. Was like, Ivan, the fight is set. I'm like, that's good. Told all my friends and everything about the fight. They was like, yo, you get ready to fight Gaddy or Arturo Gaddy? I'm like, yeah. They like, that's a hell of a fight. I'm like, yup, and I'm gonna beat his ass. It was like, all right, let's go. So we went into camp for the fight. We was which we was really training, but we wasn't training hard. When we signed for the fight, we went to New York. They had a big press conference in New York, and we was signing up there in front of. Come to find out, Lou DiBello made the fight. Lou DiBello and Gary Shaw. They was the two that made the fight. So we went up there to sign the contract for the fight. They had a press conference. We sitting there at the press conference. I'm on one side, Gaddy on the other side. So of course, you know Gaddy the man. So they like, we're gonna let Ivan Robinson speak first before we let Arturo Gatti speak. So, you know, they asked me like, yo, what you think about the fight? This, that, and that was. I'm like, you know, the fight is gonna be a great fight. Arturo Gatti is a warrior. I said, you know, I'm coming and I'm gonna give a show. I said, I'm gonna come out there and I'm gonna do what I do best. So said everything. So I had my best friend with me, which was my right hand man. He did everything for me. He took care of everything I need to take care of. When it came to the camp with the money, he took care of all that. So now it's Gaddy's turn to talk. So they like Gaddy, you know, Ivan Robinson, he's a good boxer. He just lost to Israel Cardona and he lost a world title shot, this, that, and other. Gaddy gets on the post like, yeah, he's a good fighter, but I'm gonna knock him out. I'm sitting there looking at him like, damn, you talking about me like that? He like, you know, I'm gonna knock him out. He ain't got what it takes. Then he was like, how does a guy like him bring knives to a gunfight? I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is he talking about? So, you know, we said all that. We stood up. We took pictures. We shook hands. You know, we did our little face off. You know what I'm saying? He had that little mean look, whatever. I'm like, man, I ain't worried about that. So we gets in the car because my manager, he normally drive everywhere, but I guess, you know, this is a big fight or whatever. He decided to rent a limo. So we took a limo up and a limo back. So we all get in the car to go back to Philly. So I'm thinking now, as the whole time we taking pictures and everything, shaking hands, I'm signing autographs, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, what the hell did he mean bring knives to a gunfight? So when we get in the limo, I asked my right hand man, and I'll never forget it as long as I live. I asked his name Rennie. I said, Rennie, I said, what the hell did Gaddy mean by bring knives to a gunfight? And I'll never forget it. My man was like, yo, Mighty, because they call me Mighty. He was like, Mighty, you got to be the dumbest ass in the world. I'm like, what are you talking about? He like, man, Gaddy mean you can't punch, man. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing but cut him up. I was like, oh, really? He was like, yeah, he just said you got fast hands, man. You can't punch. He was like, when he said who has the biggest guns, he was like, he got the biggest guns. That means he punched harder than you. I was like, okay. I swear to God, Chris, the whole time in camp, all I wanted to do was just pound the nigga face in. That's all I thought about. That's all I thought about.
So you won. You took the upset of the year and fight of the year in the same year. Was it for the first or for the second fight?
That was for the first fight. Hold up, let me see. The first fight I got. What we get? We got
98.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think because we got fight of the year. upset of the year, and then we get another one.
That
No, I think they was. I think they was the. Well, they was. You come on now. You got to. They was both the first fight because I was probably the only one that I'm mad about it. I still had nightmares about that thing, man. I still say that I was a 4 or 5 to 1 underdog, man. I was the only one that went into the fight knowing that I had the opportunity to really beat this guy. And the reason why I'm mad because you figured back then a 5 to 1 underdog. You know how much money I would have made if I betted on myself, and I didn't. Then
hey, I
you would
don't blame
then
you.
and then look, I still was in the second fight. I beat him the first fight. I beat him. I think I beat him worse in the second fight than I did the first fight. But even in the second fight, after beating him the first fight, I was still a 3 to 1 underdog. Could you imagine how much money I would have made that fight too?
I mean, people didn't believe in you, but you did.
Right, but no, I couldn't have. Cause damn it, if I'd have believed in myself, I'd have took all my money I had and would have betted on myself.
I mean, so but you got to give the man his props. You whooped him
Oh
up. In the
yeah.
ring. You whooped him up in the ring. I don't think it was
But look, let me tell you what's crazy. What's crazy about it now? Look, Gaddy was signed to main events. As I really could believe it, and I meant to ask my manager. He's still alive, so I'm gonna ask him too. But I never had a written signed contract that said I was part of main event because all main events fighters had some type of sticker or logo that said main events. I never had anything. And then on top of that, the whole thing what was crazy about it was I was in camp when I fought Philip Holiday. Guess who I was in camp with?
Gotti.
Gaddy and and Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Oh,
And I never ever sparred Gaddy. So I'm sitting there saying to myself, like, you talk about you talk about promoters, you talk about matchmakers. At the end of the day, regardless of what we say about them or how we think about them, they got to be the smartest people in the world because they had to see something. Because come on, I was with main events from 90. I turned pro in 92. I'm gonna say I was with the main events from 94 to all the way when me and Gaddy fought. We fought 98.
yeah.
I was with main events from 92 to 98, fighting on all their cars. Never had a signed contract with them, so they had to have some type of idea that somewhere down the line, me and Gaddy was gonna fight each other, or they was thinking of it. Because look, I fought on Gaddy card when he fought his first, I think his first title defense. Yeah, after he beat no, before he fought Tracy Patterson, he fought a kid in Secaucus. I fought on that same card he fought on. Gaddy was the main event. I was the semi windup, and that was on USA TV. That was my first television fight. I was 15-0 with 10 knockouts or 8 knockouts, something like that. And I fought a kid named damn, can't think of his name right now, but he was 23-1 with 15 knockouts. And when I went out there and destroyed it. So, for me and Gaddy to be around that long, man, and never spar each other, and then we messed around and fought each other, that was crazy.
I
That
mean,
was really crazy.